Greetings, fellow readers. Rambling Collector here, and welcome back to another daily book review. So, for the subject of this video, it is going to be a little bit different, for a lot of reasons. So, I'm just going to show you what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology book. So, I have read some of Neil Gaiman's stuff in the past, such as, of course, the Sandman series, which I am planning to do another video on that at some point after I finished a few of the larger paperbacks for the Sandman series, because the last video I did absolutely was not okay. Hey, and I want to read you on that one. But for this one here, this I would say is his first official written work that is not in comic book form that I finally read. And as a lover of Norse mythology, I wanted to talk with you all about it. So, you all might be thinking to yourself, haven't you done this before? And you would be right. In a sense, I have done something like this book before. In the fact that I recalled that I did a Norse Myths book, which was one of my non-fiction reviews. But there is some very big differences between this rendition and the one that I reviewed. For instance, Norse Myths, despite being non-fictional, was actually part of a series of non-fiction books, whereas this one here is its own standalone piece. Now, while Norse Myths is non-fictional, it also has other stories of Viking heroes, whom interact with the gods, in a sense. But Norse Myths cuts those out, and presents only the godly stories with Thor, Loki, Odin, Balder, Hel, all of them, how the frost giants came to be, the various interactions these gods had with the various frost giants, or humans, how that all happened, some of the various tricks done by Loki, which, again, like I pointed out in my old Norse Myths video, he is not a redeemable character like Tom Hiddleston makes him out to be. Like Tom Hiddleston's Loki, completely different. That is Marvel Loki. Loki in Norse mythology, completely irredeemable. One of his tricks actually really cripples permanently one of Thor's pet goats that he uses to ride around in his chariot with. His tricks wind up in the death of Balder, which kicks off the powder keg towards Ragnarok and gets him bound up by the entrails of his own child, while a serpent spits poison into his face for centuries, with his screams causing what the Norse would know as earthquakes, those being Loki's howls of pain whenever poison falls on top of him as his wife is holding a wooden bowl over his head to shield him from it, only when she goes to dump it out, it drops on his face, forever scarring him. So Loki is an irredeemable villain and the starter of Ragnarok by birthing, essentially, the world serpent, the great wolf, and even Hel, his own daughter who rules the dead. He is the one, the catalyst who starts it all. Him being a blood brother to Odin is still very interesting, though, and I do like that. Like Thor and Loki, they do get along very well, but you can definitely tell Thor has very little patience for Loki in official Norse mythology. Like, Thor is about ready to crack open Loki's skull on a moment's notice whenever any tricks that Loki pulls affects Thor personally, or the ones that he cares about, like his wife, such as when he stole all the locks off of Thor's wife's head, and then he did have to get himself out of trouble by Thor's hammer, or by appealing to the dark elves or dwarves to officially forge 3 gifts to appease the gods, so that way Loki doesn't lose his head. But one thing that I do like about this for the style of the book is I love this front cover. I love how the light shines on it and really makes the hammer really stick out artistically. It is super cool looking, I'm gonna tell you that right now. But one thing that I do like, and that I'm kind of guilty of, is whenever the books have these kind of rough little edges like so. I don't know. There's just something satisfying as you're turning through the book and you feel these rougher pages brushing against your fingers. It feels like an old chronicle, and that is a type of book aesthetic that I absolutely adore. Or, I don't know, just something about it makes it very satisfying as you flick through the pages. It feels like an ancient piece of history that you're flipping through. And Neil Gaiman does a fantastic job of creating it as a story arc, an overarching story leading towards Ragnarok and the beginning of the new game. And I like how he does that. He makes it an epic chronicle in his own way. He takes a storyteller's pose and makes it a story. Like the Norse Myths book did a really good job of presenting, I will say, all those old northern myths, Norse myths of Thor, Loki, the various adventures they had with the frost giants, Thor encountering the world serpent and making it his own personal enemy. However, the writing style used for them, because it was more of a non-fiction approach, felt very dry from time to time. This version feels like it immerses you into the story very, very well. Like you feel as though you are alongside the gods, whom, one thing that I really like is how most of the pantheons of the olden days, they are presented with very human flaws. For instance, Zeus in Greek mythology, he is not a nice person. He births half-human children every chance he gets, all because he cannot keep it to himself and continues to absolutely violate his marriage. And Hera is no better at some cases, but neither are any of them. But here, the gods themselves are ruled by their passions. Like, Thor is about ready to crack the skull of anyone who looks at him funny. Honey, that makes him a very flawed human character, in my opinion. And I like that. Loki, of course, he's the obvious trickster. He plays pranks, but he always gets into trouble, manages to pull himself out of it, but in the end of the day, his tricks and his cleverness are what gets him into severe trouble, to the point that he is locked up, like I've said before, by the entrails of his own son and bound there for almost close to eternity until he's able to lead the end of days with Ragnarok. And Ragnarok being presented as it was as a great final battle, with the catalyst being the death of Balder and then the imprisonment of Loki, all of which leads towards the end of days where the gods are sleeping until Heimdall, the only one who still remains active, wakes them from their slumber, and all the folk, the Aesir of Asgard, and the warriors of Valhalla, all of whom come forth or to face off against Loki, Jormungandr, all of them. And it was an epic chronicle that I absolutely loved. But I won't lie to you guys, for a while I've had this book sitting on my shelf, half finished for a while, but it's only recently with my recent reading splurge that I've finally been able to finish it, and I'm really glad I could finally talk with you all about it. But more than that though, I really want to check out more Viking-focused stories. For instance, I know about the whole Magnus Chase series, which I might check that out, just to see how it plays out, especially since it's written by Rick Riordan, so it's gotta be good, right? But I really do want to check out more of this, or Vikings in general. I really am a sucker for the old Viking folks, especially with their mythology. There's just something about it that calls to me, you know? But more than that, I need to check out more Viking-focused literature, like the manga Vinland Saga. Maybe I'll even finally finish some other Viking books that I've got in my collection. You'll never know. I might do future reviews on them. But you'll just have to wait and see. But if you are fans of Norse mythology or Neil Gaiman in general, please let me know some of his other works you would like me to review for the future, or any Viking books, please let me know that as well. And I really hope you all enjoyed this short little book review. There's not really much that I can say for it that I haven't already said in my Norse Myths book way back when. But if you want to check that out, I will leave a link to that at the end of this video for you all to see for yourself and judge how you will. But if you want to see some of the other books that I've covered in the meantime, please feel free either to check out the playlist, which you'll see right above my head here. Or if you like what I do here, please feel free to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, or subscribe if you're interested for more. Once again, it means a lot to me that you guys choose to follow this channel from one fan of literature to another, and I really hope you all continue to enjoy this channel for as long as it lasts, hopefully for years to come. Once again, thank you all for listening. This is Rambling Collector, signing off for now. Have a great day, fellow readers, and I'll see you all in the next video.